Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Shred Show Live with me, Josh Pitts, and very special guest, Bob Brand from Optimal Blue. I've had Bob on the show before, and the last time you saw Bob was actually here in the beautiful state of Utah at the Snug event up in the beautiful mountains. We did some skiing, Bob. It was a good time, and it's so great to have you back on the show. Welcome back to the show, Bob. I appreciate you being here.
Well, thanks, Josh. Thank you so much for having me back, and very much looking forward to it. You know, at Optimal Blue, you have some serious fans with the Shred Show, so thank you so much for supporting us as well.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's always a good time. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us right now, if you're joining us live, make sure you comment #shred because you are shredding with Bob and I this morning. You're showing up, you're hustling, you're repeating every day. And if you're joining us on the replay, make sure you comment #hustle because you're out there, you're getting it done. Then you're coming back here, you're learning and getting what you need for your business to grow. So Bob, again, before we get too much into what we're talking about today, you are one of the absolute veterans of our industry. You're one of those guys who has seen it. You've been through it all. You've been with Optimal Blue for a long time. You have seen the innovation that they continue to put out. But before we start talking about all that fun stuff, you personally, we were talking about this new age that we live in, the COVID, the pandemic age, and some of the things that, you know, your family's going through. You have a kid going off to college, but talk a little bit about personally right now. You have a couple of kids and one's going off to college this year.
Yeah, I sure am excited about it. We have my oldest, Jack, is going off to UW-Madison, another Badger in the family, which is great.
There you go.
So we're super excited. We have a lot of change in the family this year. I have 3 kids, lovely kids, Jack, John, and Lily, and John will be a senior in high school, and my daughter Lily will be going into freshman year. So happily married. My lovely wife Heather and I are doing our best in these challenging times, but so far so good.
So how do you feel about having
another Badger in the family?
How do you feel about having a daughter going to high school? Like your baby, your princess. Like, are you nervous about that at all? Are you excited about that?
Yeah, a little bit, but she'll do great. She's a smart kid, and the school she's going to is wonderful. So I'm very excited about it.
Nice. I was gonna say for my daughter's kind of a daddy's girl, you know, me and her have that connection. So I like dread the day when she goes to high school because I know how I was as a kid in high school. So I'm like, oh, the day she goes to high school, I'm going to be watching her like a hawk. But yeah. You've had a few boys go through it. But again, boys are a little bit different than the girls are. But I'm excited for you. And again, who knows what this year will bring with the whole everything's going on. You and I were kind of talking about that. And what are some of the things you guys do for fun? I know you guys kind of live in a great place in the Wisconsin area. So what are some of the things you guys do for fun?
Well, you can't beat Wisconsin in the summer. So,
sure.
You know, we try to take advantage of it as much as we can. These longer days certainly help. We're families into boating. We go boating quite often. I personally am into biking. Did a lot of biking this summer. Even bought new golf clubs, Josh. So now I found my problem. Not only am I still bad at golf, but now I also don't have any time for golf. So I got my problem set, but I do have nice clubs. So.
Well, you can't. At least you have them there. It's better to have them and not need them than need them and not have them, right? So, So I'm excited to be chatting about. I mean, every time that we have somebody on from Optimal Blue discussing it, it's so much fun to me because you guys are doing some incredibly innovative, some really exciting things. But more than ever, you guys do have some big news. And when I first heard this, Bob, I'll be honest, I was like, wow, this is a big deal. And so I want you to kind of share some of this big news. This happened back in July, but you guys Optimal Blue has some big news to share.
Yeah, we sure do. You know, on July 27th, Optimal Blue had some great news. Black Knight announced that they entered into an agreement to purchase Optimal Blue. So we at the company couldn't be more excited. What it means for the company, for our clients, for our partners is just exceptional. You know, one of the things too is just the structure of this makes just a ton of sense. You know, Black Knight will combine its Compass Analytics business with Optimal Blue into a newly formed entity. And there will be 2 minority investors that will also be investing in that division, Kanai Holdings and Thomas Lee Partners. So we're excited about that as well. You know, ultimately, Josh, it validates the strategy that Optimal Blue has put in place to build out this leading secondary marketplace that we've spoken with you about. I know Scott's been on the show and has talked to you about that, but this just helps us bring more resources to and value adds to this marketplace that we've developed, and helps us accelerate our growth, which we're really, really excited about.
So my biggest question is, because anytime you go through a merger and acquisition like this, like you mentioned, for the most, I know I'm excited. I know I've had a lot of dealings with Black Knight. They're a great company. Is this going to affect the way, again, like I mentioned in the very beginning, Optimal Blue is an innovator. They're forward thinking in the industry. Is this going to change that at all?
Not at all. I mean, they are an exceptional firm with some amazing capabilities in and of themselves. But from our perspective, everybody is all about helping Optimal Blue grow faster and continue on the mission we've been on. And what's really exciting is, with combining Compass and Optimal Blue, we're able to kind of take the best of two leading secondary marketing capabilities, companies, people, everything, and combine it into a more powerful offering. With Black Knight, same thing. This transaction adds some market leading products to their product portfolio, but also it augments, their already their strong strengths in the origination software and the data and analytics business. So again, we're just super excited about what the alignment looks like. The cultures align well, the commitment to innovation aligns well, and of course the commitment to customers. So.
Well, and that's just it. And that's what I'm excited to hear, is ultimately all your customers, your partners, which we're going to be talking about here in just a minute, they're the ones benefiting from this. This type of partnership is just bringing more resources, more opportunity, and allowing Optimal Blue to continue to grow. And it has the same great people, even more people are being brought in. So it's an exciting time for Optimal Blue, but not just Optimal Blue. Like, it's these type of partnerships, Bob, that you and I were discussing, that it makes us better as an industry. These are absolute powerhouse companies coming together, growing thought processes, visions for the future, data, which is a big thing. So it really is an exciting time, and it's really exciting to hear that you guys have gone through that, which that's not the only thing that you guys have gone through. You guys have some major milestone. Like, what's crazy is we all know rates are low right now, which is phenomenal, but Optimal Blue in particular, you guys have hit some milestones that, I mean, you guys have just crushed numbers. Like, you guys continue to crush numbers and some of these milestones. And I'm excited you to share some of these milestones that you guys have just obliterated so far.
For sure. I mean, it's definitely been an exceptional time this year, in every regard, with how we've measured the business, how the clients look at their business, everything else. But it even, been before that people were starting to figure out the true value of automating their secondary marketing component of their mortgage business. That includes pricing, the workflows around how they lock loans, how they hedge their loans, and ultimately how they sell and trade those loans at the end. All of those things have become kind of a material thing for lenders, and they've used them to compete more effectively and grow their own business. So just, as a result, the growth of Optimal Blue in our market share has been remarkable. We set a goal 4 years ago to hit 1,000 PPE clients on our core PPE. And, we hit it, early. We just did that in mid-July. We signed our Houston FCU, which was basically our 1,000th client, and we're super excited about it. And that's on top of, other parts of our business growing too. You look at our broker PPE, we have 2,500 clients on that.
Wow.
Our clients just overall have been crushing it with volume on our system. You look at with these low rates and the volatility of the business, pricing is a big thing to consumers. They're watching it every single day. We seem to have hit a new low literally multiple times every week. And, so quote volume on our system is through the roof. In the first 7 months of the year, mortgage rate quotes on our system are now 280 million in those first 7 months, which is about a 75 roughly % increase over 2019.
Holy cow.
Yeah. You look at rate locks too, Josh. I mean, rate locks in the month of July were $195 billion of rate locks. We've exceeded $1 trillion in the first 7 months of 2020, which is roughly double what we did in the same period last year.
Wow.
And then loan trades is the last thing. You know, we've did a number of loan trade transactions in July alone. It was $11 billion, which is roughly 20% more than our highest month ever since. So all told, you know, it's just been a wonderful few months for our clients, and they continue to knock it out of the park. And I'm so thankful that we're there to support them and provide them the tools that they can literally rely on in these high volume, volatile times.
Well, and that's just it, is you guys provide the tools, you have these partnerships, and people turn to you. I mean, some of those numbers just absolutely blow me away. And it just goes to show that, you know, 280 million rate quotes, how volatile the market is. Like, that's an insane amount of quotes right now. That means that you have all these partners, all these clients that are working with you, that are partnered with you, to really, like, they trust your system. They trust the tool to do it time and time again to get the most up-to-date, the most beneficial data that they can get when it comes to rate locking for their consumers. Like, that's exciting. Like, that's for you, you know, as an originator myself, one of the things that I always pride myself in is, of course, I want to make sure I get the best deal out there, but I have to stay on top of what's going on in the market. I have to stay on top of, and especially with pricing changing as much as it is, I have to be confident in my source, that if I quote my client something, I know it's the most reliable, it's the most efficient source. And that's what Optimal Blue continues to provide for their clients. And that's why I'm excited for it. And I've told you before, I've shared with everybody, when I had my mortgage company, I used Optimal Blue. Like, it was just where we turned. It was, I trusted it. I used it. So it's exciting times, which I'm entered as well. Like, the partnerships that you guys have, you guys kind of, one other thing that you're really focused on right now is the Optimal Blue has this partner program that I've heard of. And I want to talk about that a little bit more. What is this partner program that I've heard about a couple of times?
Yeah, you bet. So we for a long time, you know, this marketplace concept at Optimal Blue has led us to become, you know, the industry's utility for secondary marketing. You know, pricing, locking, hedging, trading. You know, we've been the de facto utility in secondary marketing for a long time. And you know, as our business matured and our leadership strategy evolved, you know, we wanted to make sure that we had a strong commitment to integration, not only with the partners we had been working with, but with literally any of the leading technologies that our clients wanted to take advantage of. And, you know, these are great times for lenders because there's more mortgage technology options in the space than any time ever before. But, you know, along that same line, one of the things that could continue to hold the industry back is if these vendors don't integrate well with each other. I believe personally that is one of the main things that's held the industry back from evolving this digital mortgage agenda we've all talked about for years. So anyway, long story short is Optimal Blue set out to change that. You know, we installed in our own culture an API first mindset, where we wanted to take the functionalities that loan officers and lenders were doing on the screens of Optimal Blue and make it available as a resource, an integratable resource with any mortgage technology vendor or any system our clients used. So when you talk about the volume we spoke of earlier, you know, a key part of the success story is the volume being done in experiences that are outside of OB, but are leveraging OB data and OB functionality. So that's really what we've tried to do. Today, we're up to about 70 different mortgage technology vendors that have to our APIs and leverage our pricing and locking and other functionalities within our system.
That's amazing. 70 different vendors. Like, that is absolutely, it's incredible to me because, again, as a tech company, as somebody who's really making sure they're partnering with the right people, and you look at some of the partnerships you guys have, I mean, with Black Knight, Ellie Mae, Simple Nexus, Top of Mind, some of these companies that are also doing great things. And so before we go too much into this, does Optimal Blue just partner with everybody, or do they say, you know what, we really want to partner with companies that see the vision of the industry? Because I'm sure that you guys are approached on a regular basis, like, hey, we're a new tech company in the space. Optimal Blue has a great platform. Like, we just want to partner with you. Is it something? Is there a vetting process? Is it something you take into consideration?
There is. You know, I think that it starts with our clients. You know, our clients drive what we do in so many parts of Optimal Blue, and the innovations, the people we partner with, the technologies we release and support. Our clients have a lot to say and a lot to do with where we go. And so that's where it starts with our partnership program. These technology firms, we do, have a standard set of these APIs that support these various functions. We certify these integrations. So we put our stamp on it to make sure that when we deliver an integration between a technology partner and Optimal Blue, that our client's not caught in the middle. For years, that was always the issue. Integrations were somewhat weak. They were not very mature. And a lot of times it was sort of like this, finger pointing when there was a problem. And we don't want that. We want to work with these partners as truly, as the name would suggest, as a partner of our business, and make sure when we speak to our clients about supporting a partner that they have the confidence that it's certified and tested by our team.
Well, and I think that's the exciting part, because you look at you look at all the names that you guys have part like Ellie Mae or Simple Nexus, some of these companies that are, becoming or already are juggernauts within the industry with Optimal Blue. Like these are reputable companies. Like they're great. Everybody knows them. They know that they, again, like you talked about, the efficiencies. You don't want the consumer, you don't want the client to be the one who struggles because things aren't working perfect. We've all been there in our industry. There's a new shiny, toy in the industry. There's a new company, the latest and greatest, and there tries to be an integration, but ultimately it's the originator, which affects the consumer. So it's so great to hear that Optimal Blue, they really take those partnerships serious. And like you said, they are a partner. You guys go through and make sure that it is not only good for as a company, as a partnership, but also good for the consumer in the end. And that's what's exciting to me.
Yeah, and Josh, just one more comment on it. I think we also don't want to be, stingy on it either.
Sure.
Part of enabling our clients to continue to innovate their technology stack is to provide them the alternatives of the latest and greatest tools out there. So we don't want to be, kind of mandating, what are the winners and losers in this space. We want to make sure that our clients have access to the latest and greatest, whatever that might be. So if you really think about it, pricing is one of those things that kind of sits sort of above the entire loan process. And what I mean by that is, no matter if you're talking about an experience with a consumer at a lead gen phase, picture these lead gen systems. You've seen vendors in that space, many times yourself. So at that point, they're not an application. But what is important is to convert a prospect into an applicant, and pricing drives that experience. Another thing is the point of sale experience. We work with many point of sale vendors too. And here, what's important to get them from the beginning of the app to a submitted app, a lot of times is eligibility and price, especially in markets like we're in. So having access in those experiences at the point of sale, having access to accurate pricing is crucial. Then you think about processing loans, locking loans, closing loans, selling loans. Every step along the mortgage life cycle relies on and leverages accurate pricing. So wherever those experiences are occurring, whatever time of the day it is, no matter what type of technology, mobile, desktop, whatever, no matter who's in those experiences, the borrower directly or the loan officer guiding the borrower, we want to make sure that our services, our data, our pricing content is at that experience. And that's really the cool thing here is no matter what that end experience is, we can be providing value and accurate pricing to convert that experience.
And that's absolutely who Optimal Blue is at their core. And that's what's exciting to me is you guys are looking to the future. You are evolving, which our industry is. The industry continues to change. It continues to innovate. Optimal Blue is at the center of all of that. And these partnerships, these collaborations that you continue to blossom and to grow, that's what's exciting to me, which kind of leads into where I want to start wrapping things up here, because on the horizon, industry, and you mentioned this as well, there are some up and coming companies. There are some new things on the horizon, but in particular, Optimal Blue, you guys have some very exciting things that are kind of on the horizon as well.
Yeah, we do. There's a lot of neat stuff that people are starting to leverage. In fact, during this pandemic, one of the cool side effects, and I know there's a lot of bad side effects, but a lot of cool side effects in the mortgage space is I think we've been kind of forced down this digital mortgage agenda a lot quicker and in an accelerated way versus maybe where we were. And I like that. I've enjoyed watching that occur and seeing how more of a digital experience is now becoming more commonplace. So that's kind of a cool aside. But part of it is the technologies and tools that we're going to start to see a lot more of. So, I mentioned our API first strategy. It's a heavily used, high performance set of APIs in our API library that vendors can write to. Literally in sub-second time, we can return all the eligible rates and points and fees. We can, lock loans. We can do many, many things. But what's really interesting is we've been always looking for ways to evolve it. And one of the things that we've done recently is we're very close to announcing some new capabilities and new functionalities with those APIs. There's a concept called webhooks. So I don't know if you've ever heard of it before, but take a locking of loan. So if Optimal Blue is working with an LOS partner, we need to make sure that the pipeline of locked loans stays in sync between Optimal Blue and the LOS. So many times, right now, in fact, the LOS will kind of knock on our door and say, hey, is there a new loan that was just locked in Optimal Blue that I need to be aware of? Literally, that would happen, every minute, 15 minutes, whatever the case might be in our system, back and forth between these two products. Well, what we've just developed is a way for Optimal Blue to alert or notify these technology partners when a state is changed, when a variable is changed. And there's a whole slew of them. In fact, 30 different events we're going to be able to support. So in the case, again, of this locking, when a loan locks, we'll tell the LOS and anyone else that this just occurred. So then we can execute a transaction. So it's stuff like that that will be amazing evolution in this industry. Being able to have real-time, very robust integrations between these providers. And it's not just Optimal Blue and provider A. It's provider A talking to provider B talking to Optimal Blue too. It's this kind of multifaceted integration approach that we're going to see evolve in this industry.
And I think that's what's exciting as well, is the evolution of it. And something that I think is really exciting. And we had, his name's eluding me. Oh, no, Rick Allen. Rick Allen was on the show. Some of the machine learning within our industry, and I know that's something big for you guys as well. Some of the data and machine learning that's happening in the industry. And I know Optimal Blue has a big part in that as well, right?
We do, yeah. I mean, you're going to see, of course, a lot more AI and machine learning tools from big providers like Optimal Blue, Black Knight, others. In fact, one of the things that we've developed, I don't know how much Rick got into it, but one of the things we've developed is the ability to suggest a bid price on a loan. So, for example, when our loan trading system, think of it as an auction. So when a seller, the lender, has loans that they want to sell to an aggregator, the aggregator will come to this auction, meet the seller, and they'll bid on it. So it's a place for buyers and sellers to transact whole loan bulk bid sales. And it's a really cool platform. It's automated so much in the loan trading space. And as I mentioned, it's being very heavily used right now. So what we've accomplished now is using machine learning, we can start to look at all of our loan trading history and basically almost predict, well, we do predict the bid price that will win a particular sale going forward.
Wow.
So when a bidder comes to the system, think of Amazon. You're able to kind of, or eBay rather, you're able to kind of bid on a specific product. But what if the system could tell you, here's what we think the winning bid would be, and if you do this, you have a high probability of winning that scenario on eBay. That's kind of what the concept is. And so we're just rolling it out. The machine's getting smarter, and we're just about ready to release a white paper on what this has accomplished for our early clients.
That eBay, that kind of thinking about it in that way, it's ultimately not only is it more efficient, but in the long run, this could be saving, I mean, lenders, investors money in the long run, because it will predict like, hey, you know what, this is going to be the close to what we think it's ultimately going to sell for, and that may be less than you were going to offer. So ultimately, it could be a money saver. It's going to be a time saver. Like, you're talking about the efficiencies. What's really exciting, Bob, is even if you look at our conversation right now, because some of this investing, some of this machine learning, some people that's going way over people's heads, like, whoa, this goes in depth, like, holy smokes. But then you look at Optimal Blue at its core of originators like myself, people who are pricing loans for the consumer. There's so the gamut that Optimal Blue has is so large, but it is so fine-tuned within our industry. And that's what gets me like stoked, is you guys have such a keen understanding and a knowledge and an eye of what's going on from pricing to the end of sale. Like, it all happens within Optimal Blue system, and you guys continue to evolve. You continue to get better day in and day out. And something you mentioned early on in our interview, you listen to the clients, you listen to originators like myself, companies, of what they're needing, what is going to help them become more efficient. Which, if you help us as originators and lenders become more efficient, ultimately the client benefits from that. Because if the more efficiencies we have, the more time we can save, ultimately that rolls on to the end consumer, which is ultimately what Optimal Blue is in it for, is helping the consumer.
I mean, and these examples here of technologies, I know you're right. I imagine some folks are like, "What is he talking about?" But, really, what I'm trying to to say is two takeaways, which everybody at any level in this industry can relate to. We're going to see integration getting more robust between these vendor solutions, and it's already occurring now. And it's only going to get better. It's going to get in a way where these systems will be doing things, communicating in a very robust way. Is there a change in a status or a state that I need to react to? And then a function will be triggered as a result of that. So that's kind of the first thing. We're already down that road. Many other vendors are too. It's kind of cool to watch. The second thing is data is going to play a major role in how lenders run their business. So we're seeing that already. We've exposed, as you highlighted with Rick Allen's interview, we've exposed our data to our clients to help them make better decisions. What's the most profitable secondary strategy? What are my competitors doing, and how do I compare and benchmark to them? What are rates doing today, and how has that trended over time? And gosh, should I take on a new channel or a new branch or a new product, or should I change my rates to be more competitive? That's what we're trying to do. But with this machine learning stuff, now we're training our computers to help our clients be able to run their business more efficiently too. And we're doing that. Other vendors are doing that very successfully. So that's the other theme. So I don't want to get bogged down on too geeky stuff for the listeners here, but those are two trends that will affect all of us in a very positive way in the years ahead.
And I think that is exactly that's like a mic drop. Those 2 points right there, Bob, like, was perfect, because that's ultimately what it is. The integration, and you almost have to have, like, I think I mentioned this to Scott when I was talking to him, is at Optimal Blue, there has to be a sense of confidence and pride that, like, you guys are literally leading the way, and you're at the forefront of these collaborations and this machine learning and the data, the things that Optimal Blue is doing is literally helping our entire industry. Like you said, it's helping business owners, it's helping lenders become more efficient in the process. And that's what is so exciting. And I can see it when you smile. I can see it when you talk about it, just knowing that, like, Optimal Blue it's changing our industry. It's helping us evolve and become more efficient. And it's very exciting time. So, Bob, as always, it's such a pleasure to have Optimal Blue on the show, talking about the things that you guys are doing to benefit the industry. So thank you so very much for taking time out of your busy day to come and hang out with us on the Shred Show and share some of these invaluable tools and everything you guys are working on.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. My pleasure, and thank you to you and your listeners for hanging out with us. I appreciate it. Thanks, Josh.
It's my pleasure. And guys, I forgot to mention this in the beginning, but if you had questions for myself or Bob, I apologize. We didn't get able to get to them. I saw a lot of comments here, but if you have a question, make sure you comment below and we'll make sure we get them answered on a later show, or we'll get them over to Optimal Blue to answer all of your guys' questions. But as always, guys, we appreciate you. We love you. And now it's time for you to go shred, go show up, hustle, repeat every day. See you guys.